All right, Matt, fifth fight on the prelims, and stop the presses, hold the phone. This is yet again another UFC debut because it was originally supposed to be Luis Violent Bob Ross Pena taking on Alex Munoz. In steps, in short notice, Steve Garcia Jr., and this is a guy that a lot of fight fans might be familiar with. This is a guy that had a win on Contender Series in 2019, first round finish there. Unfortunately, didn't get the contract, so what does he do? He goes back out, continues his career, training with Jackson Wink, and he goes out with LFA in January of this year, gets a second round finish there, boom, he's in a spot here with the UFC, moving up a weight class from featherweight to lightweight, taking on Violent Bob Ross at 155. Now, Matt, this is really interesting because both of these guys, I'm sure, in their careers are typically the bigger man. For Garcia at featherweight, 6 feet tall, but for Luis Pena, and a guy who has competed at the lower weight classes, 6'3", he's going to have a little bit of a reach advantage. This is going to be one of those Strikers Paradise type fights. I don't want to oversell it like we tried to oversell the recent fight with Lando Venata and Yancy Medeiros. Yikes. But this does have quite a bit of potential because I really, really don't think that we're going to see either one of these guys trying to take the fight to the mat. Now, again, I mentioned it. You've got Jackson Wink taking on AKA. This is a really good fight, Matt. What do you expect out of this? And if you're Garcia Jr., maybe you don't win, and I'm just saying this because, again, we don't have odds, and there's not enough votes in Tapology to actually really look into it all that much. But if you're Garcia Jr., what are some of the keys to success to get a win against Luis Pena?
So, Luis Pena, when you're 6'3" and you fight at 155, the one thing that you're not going to have is a lot of muscle. Just due to the fact that you're so big and tall that your skeleton takes up a lot of that weight at that point.
You know what that's like, right?
I do. As a tall, thin person myself, I'm very familiar with that. So, Luis Pena, the one problem he's had in his career, because he'll have moments in fights where you're like, oh, this is like the next Anderson Silva. Like, he'll throw crazy spin kicks, flying knees. He's a really good striker. He gets held against the cage a lot, though. And when he gets taken down, he's good at getting back up to his feet, but he's just kind of content off his back to a certain degree. And that's really cost him in not only the Mike Trizano fight, but in his last fight as well. I feel like if it stays on the feet, though, Luis Pena, there's not a lot of guys at 155 who can beat him in purely striking stand-up. Of course, once you get to the top of the division, but guys who aren't ranked, Luis Pena is just so good at striking. And if you're planning on going in there and not try to wrestle him, try to not wear him down at some point, you're probably going to get knocked out. So if I'm Steve Garcia, I definitely want to go for the takedowns. I want to try to wear Luis Pena out against the cage, but that's much easier said than done. Pena's really good at making guys pay for it when they do try to take him down. Really good with those knees, really good with his elbows. So I feel like Pena's probably going to win by TKO.
And I mean, really, in Pena's last fight, it was a loss by split decision against Matt Frevola. And you know Frevola is a good wrestler.
Fight, to be honest.
Yeah, it was really close. And then you go back and you look at the Trizano fight. And how did Mike Trizano win that fight? Pressure, and trying to wrestle and push him up against the cage, like you had said. So if Steve Garcia is going to be able to get the win, that's what he has to do. Again, I would side with you. I'm going to go with Luis Pena in this fight. But it should be a good one. Again, Strikers Paradise. And you're not going to want to miss the rest of our predictions for UFC Norfolk. 2 minutes for the main card and the prelims. 5 minutes for our main event between Devison Figueiredo and Joseph Benavidez for the belt at 125. Matt, as we always say, Fight Night Picks, let's get into it.